What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombies. So it is Wednesday, it is hump day, and I don't even really want to get into the markets right now, guys, but I do want to say thank you so much for everyone who's been coming back to the channel, liking, subscribing, commenting. So guys, I actually was able to get my hands on another Bridge Protocol USB drive. If you guys want, it's 8 gigabytes, and yeah, you can like put it on your keychain and whatever. So if you guys want, definitely just drop a comment below. Let me know that you want the USB drive, obviously, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other comments on this video, and I'll pick a winner tomorrow. So totally free. There you guys go. My way of saying thank you. And unfortunately now we have to dive into this mess that is going on right now. We had a massive dump out of nowhere. I haven't really brought up this chart in quite some time because we really didn't need to. As you guys can see right here, we had this trend line down here and this other one that we were following right here. Now, for a while, it hadn't broke below this point, and you can see we just fell below. So unfortunately, if it does go back into this channel and stay into that channel, we have a potential chance of Bitcoin going down to $4,000, guys. Now, I don't want to be the one to freak everyone out, but it is a possibility. You know, as we can see zooming in here, I mean, we just totally fell right off. This is Bitcoin. We were sitting right around $6,365, and now I'll give it a quick refresh live. 5,902 with a market cap of $190 billion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that left the market, guys, right over time. So, I mean, if we have a look at the biggest gainers of the day, we still have that coin, Ethereum up, Odom, and that's it. Everything else, TrueUSD, Paxos, USD Coin, Metaverse is in there. Tether, DAI, Serum Labs was up, it's down. Interesting thing is Tether's still only sitting at around 97 cents out of $1. So that is interesting. Now the question is, what is causing this right now? I mean, this dip, this dump is insane. So a lot of people are still looking over at the Bitcoin Cash SV futures. If we give this a refresh, that's still up 46%. And we have the Bitcoin Cash ABC. Just refresh that. That's down 49%. So the question is this what is causing the dump? Is it the Bitcoin Cash debacle? What is the catalyst behind this? Why is this happening right now? Well, what's interesting, one thing that I wanted to bring up before we move on is if we have a look at this chart here from Morgan Stanley, the thing I wanted to point out is that we have seen that back in, you know, the earlier Bitcoin days in 2013, 2014, we had a lot of fiat being traded with Bitcoin, whereas now we're seeing a lot of crypto, mainly in the forms of stable coins such as USDT. So while this is actually a good thing in the sense that crypto is staying within crypto and we're making more transactions actually in the crypto space itself, we are not having any more introduction of new fiat into the system. So without this fiat coming in, we're going to find ourselves having some problems moving forward. Now, talking about this whole thing about investors say that US debt will end up in a Bitcoin and crypto boom, I've been hearing about this a lot. We talked about it on the channel. As much as I want people to turn to crypto, I don't really want there to be a financial collapse either, because that's going to affect me and us on a lot of other levels as well, in general. So, you know, you do see a lot of this going on, but I have to say, I hope that this isn't what it takes for crypto to take off, but it is a possibility. Now, let me get off of all that financial stuff. We go into that all the time on the channel. I know it's huge what's happening. We have the Bitcoin Cash hard fork happening within a matter of hours. In fact, by the time you're watching this video, it might already have happened. So let's talk about that, because that's what everyone's talking about, clearly. So obviously there is panic everywhere. Bitcoin Cash is set to hard fork and people are losing their minds. You can catch up on this article, but what I really wanted to talk about is the fact that now you're seeing sort of the tides turn a little bit. We saw the futures trading a lot higher for Bitcoin SV. And I woke up to this in my email this morning from Liquid team saying that they've actually changed their mind and now they're deciding to support Bitcoin SV. They say, over the past few days, the situation has changed and we have observed that many miners are favoring Bitcoin SV. This means that the possibility of a Bitcoin SV inheriting the current Bitcoin Cash network post-fork has increased dramatically. So you may have noticed on Twitter, you have Craig Wright. He's been kind of going off the rocker lately, but as to be expected from, you know, a guy who literally still is claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. I just want to point that out before we even get into this. So basically, he wrote, a little over 3 months, I found that point, the solution to a problem that dodged me for over 20 years. Now it's solved and will only ever be a part of Bitcoin Cash. And it is at that moment when all the haters you know are worthless, you can in the future ensure they lose. This guy is very competitive, very aggressive in the way that he talks down to basically any other project, including Bitcoin, which is weird because he's Satoshi, so he created it, right? Anyway, he says, you all think that altcoins matter, that blockchain without Bitcoin can exist, etc., etc. Sorry, I get the last laugh, and it is so huge, I can be as big as an ass as I like, and you will still want to come back. Somebody responds, are you spearheading an altcoin? He goes, aren't you? You know, he goes, no, that's Bitcoin. In 2019, you will get to see how effed up Bitcoin really is. And the shenanigans continues for quite some time down here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to essentially just point out something that came out from this podcast right here. So this was over on the Crypto Show. So I want to give them full credit. They're the guys that did the interview. And there's a few segments from here that I really wanted to show you. Basically, he goes in to just be very nasty again, saying that there's a bug in Bitcoin that only he knows. And like in 2019, Bitcoin's going to be worth $0. And here, you know what? I'll just play the clip.
We're already mining at a loss, and we will keep mining at a loss. So if you come over, we're just going to make you lose money until you stop. We are going to, no matter how long you take, have SV running, and every time you think you get ahead, we're going to reorg any ABC blocks. Any exchange that does this, we're going to block all their transactions and reorg them, targeted. So if you're an exchange running this, I'm going to make your life living hell. And when I finish with it, I'm going to come back and make your life worse than living hell.
When you're done with ABC, are you going after Bitcoin, after BTC?
Bitcoin Core is already dead.
That's a big mountain to climb there too. So
no, it's not. Bitcoin Core is already dead. They just don't know it yet. With the changes from the original Bitcoin and what they've done to add SegWit and whatever else, they don't understand the system well enough, and they will learn next year that there is a fatal flaw in BTC. And by fatal, I mean there won't be any BTC at the end of next year.
So as you guys could see, very aggressive in nature, very nasty, you know, and this kind of reminds me of how it felt when Bitcoin Cash originally forked off of Bitcoin. It felt very aggressive to me, and I really didn't like the way that they were going about the marketing, and now it seems like it's just happening all over again, except a lot of people are upset. A lot of people think to themselves, like, is this really the way that we want to represent crypto? Is this what you want people to see when they get in for the first time, you know? And also another thing too, pointing out some of the stuff that Craig's been saying on WeChat. By the way, if you guys want all these sources, all the links are below. You can verify everything. Look, he goes on to say, no split. I rather all dies than Bitcoin is effed. We can hold and dump. I have 1.1 million Bitcoin Cash and 1.05 million Bitcoin, which is insane. But I forgot, he's Satoshi, right? He says, I win or it all goes down. No end. This is war. It is to death this time. No compromise ever. But this is the guy that we want running the Bitcoin Cash camp. This is the leader. This is the guy that you really want at the forefront. So I just wanted to point that out. Now let's take a flip side. Let's look at the other side of it, okay? Let's talk about Bitcoin Cash ABC. Right? So if you come over here and you look at this video that recently came out, you have Amaury Séchet. He's the lead developer for Bitcoin ABC. And in this video, he goes on to explain that, you know, basically raising the block size to some crazy, crazy astronomical number is actually a bad idea. In fact, he says that currently at the 32 megabyte level, you're on par with basically PayPal already. And he says that if you increase the block size and you don't upgrade the software, because the software has a lot of issues as you begin to upgrade higher and higher, you actually increase your attack service because there's all kind of vectors, you know, that now become available. So I'll play a clip from this as well. Also, thanks to Colin Talks Crypto for the subtitles.
Yes, so I agree. We need to get beyond 32 meg at some point. But I'd like to put things in perspective. 32 megs is PayPal level volumes of transaction. So it's already like you are a worldwide payment system. You're not the payment system and the money of the world, but you are like pretty damn big. So we are there. Problem is, we know that if we go beyond that, actually the software doesn't work at all. Like, there is a bunch of problem in the software that, you know, make it so that it doesn't quite work. And so if you just increase the block size and you don't change those other stuff, the only thing that you achieve is that you increase your attack surface. Because so there is all kind of those vectors that becomes 4 times as bad if they are linear, 16 times as bad if they are quadratic, and so on, right? And so it doesn't seem like a very rational decision to increase that limit to increase your attack surface when you effectively cannot handle that transaction volume because of other limitation in the software.
So as you can see, there's a total, complete difference in the way one person is discussing the fork and their coin versus the way the other camp is discussing their coin as well. And not even to just mention on top of it, if you go over here by this tweet from Jameson Lopp, you have a Bitcoin Cash stress test recap. So bottlenecks cause services such as the transaction generators to slow and error out, preventing mempools from exceeding 22 megabytes, large blocks 21.35 megabytes, average block size 3.6 megabytes, 11% of maximum capacity, 16% of Bitcoin ABC nodes dropped off the network. So the thing is if Satoshi's vision is just basically raising the size and they're not really addressing some of these issues in the back, it could end up being a lot worse than it already is. So I just wanted to kind of point that out as well. And yeah, I mean, basically Craig Wright's weapon might as well be as good as this, because to me, it's very aggressive in the way that he's going about it, and I think that there are certain implementations of the hardware, of the software, that's being very overlooked. So regardless of what happens, regardless of which chain wins, you know, whether it be SV or whether it be ABC, I seriously think that it's pretty sad the way that these guys are going at it and the way that this is really being a reflection of the space, because it is. Whether or not you care about this, because I don't even own Bitcoin Cash, so personally for me, I don't care either way financially. But I do care about the way that people perceive the space. Because it's really just a bunch of rich guys fighting over. I mean, literally, if we go back to what he said here, that's the wrong thing. I mean, he's literally bragging about how much, you know, Bitcoin Cash he owns, and that's something that Roger Ver was kind of talking about as well in that one interview where he was like, "I'm a self-made millionaire," right? And I just think that it's kind of the wrong look for crypto. So that's basically my take on it moving forward. So getting into some news sort of in a response to this as well, this article actually came out a few days ago. You have, ahead of the imminent Bitcoin Cash hard fork, mining giant Bitmain has rushed to deploy around 90,000 Antminer S9 machines. Bitmain is reported to be strategizing its role in the forthcoming computing power war by reaching out to local mining farms. So as you can see down here, so far, major mining pools such as BTC.com, Antpool, and BTC.top via BTC and Bitcoin.com have all backed Bitcoin ABC. However, you do have CoinGeek, reportedly the largest Bitcoin Cash mining pool, BMG, and SBI have all backed BSV. But Bitcoin Cash isn't the only one that's actually seeing some issues right now. So we currently have mining Ethereum is actually considered no longer profitable by using GPUs. This is according to an analysis from US-based global trading and technology firm Susquehanna. So according to their findings, they say this has a lot to do with the slump in the crypto markets and network hash rates as well. So from their analysis, they say profit per month for ETH miners using GPU-based setups hit around $0 as of the beginning of this month. A lot of it has to do also with the fact that we are down over 85% from the all-time high of $1,350 all the way down to, as of this morning, it was just lingering right around $200. So yeah, I feel like it's been a lot of negative stuff so far. Let me talk about something positive. So we do have the new Neon wallet that came out. Now this is officially 2.0. It's beautiful. The interface is really nice. So if you haven't downloaded it, definitely go have a look. Also, let's talk about the world's first large-scale blockchain-based political election held on Zcoin's blockchain. Now, I know we've had other voting done as well. Horizon State has been doing a lot. ClearPoll is doing their thing. But in this case, you have the Thai Democratic Party, the oldest political party, recently held a primary election to elect its new party leaders. So, long story short, the vote was concluded with a total of 127,000 1,479 votes that came from all over Thailand. So congratulations, Zcoin, on that. Now, I also wanted to just get into this really quick. I touched on this on my other video, but I had a couple people yesterday actually comment again asking me about what was going on with the ICON FUD. To clarify it, one of the things was, of course, they're a little behind schedule, which we've gone over a lot of times, and then the fact of the coins that they're dumping on the market. Well, basically, in a nutshell, I've already gone into this, but if you guys look at the white paper, they are paying off some of the people on the team, as you see the distribution right here. So every so often, tokens get unlocked. This happens with all cryptocurrencies that have ICOs. They have tokens released over time, right? So they're freeing up some of the tokens to distribute them among the community groups and strategic partners. The project's white paper speaks about this allocation, indicating that the new contractual groups are accepting ICX tokens as payment. So pretty much, if they're getting paid their icon and then they choose to sell their icon, it's kind of their right to do so. But the good news is that this is done with, and it won't happen again. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. I mean, it will happen periodically, but this is it for now. So basically, that's kind of clarifying that up. Also, as far as meeting deadlines and stuff like that, I mean, the only thing that I could say is I would rather have a project actually do what they say they're going to do instead of just hitting milestones and, you know, yeah, we hit the milestone and, you know, here's a box of crap, essentially. But I also wanted to address this as well. Some people were saying that ICON delegates have the power to mint new ICX every year. And that was actually kind of also debunked as well, because ICON C-Rep nodes don't have the power to mint new coins. According to the white paper, any issuance of coins is subject to the IISS scoring mechanism performed by ICON's AI, which takes into account the number of transactions on the network and transaction fees. There is a maximum inflation of 20% allowed. So C-Rep nodes then vote to agree if inflation will be allowed. Any issuance of coins will be for transactions on the network through the DEX and not just dumped on exchanges. Importantly, any issues will solely be based on the number of transactions. Therefore, any issues of coins is a good thing, as it reflects a significant use of the network. Given price reflects use, should coins have to be issued, price will reflect the network account of use. So I hope that clarifies some of the FUD. If it still doesn't, head on over to the Hello Icon Reddit. There's plenty of news, a lot of updates, and Marcus from D-Block has been very vocal about this as well. I also wanted to talk about POWR Ledger. So this is pretty cool because they've announced the deployment of its peer-to-peer renewable energy trading platform at licensed retail electric provider American PowerNet's headquarters in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. So American PowerNet's headquarters will use the XGrid platform to trade 35 kilowatts of solar power garnered from both its office roof and carport, with neighbors connecting in its office park to optimize clean energy for both carbon reductions and decreased electricity costs. The XGrid deployment is the latest U.S. project from POWR Ledger and marks the introduction of its innovative P2P energy trading technology into the Pennsylvania-New Jersey-Maryland interconnection, or PJM, which is the largest U.S. wholesale electricity market. So that is definitely awesome. I'm glad to see them moving into the US. That's pretty cool as well. Also, super quick, Coinbates is now certified by Google. No, not Coinbase, Coinbates. And one of the things that I like about this is that you're starting to actually see these legitimate projects be able to get onto Google's platform and advertise, hopefully deterring people from those shady freaking scams, which was the reason that they ended up banning all these ads in the first place. Now, I also want to talk about OmiseGO. So there's a popular taxi app with more than 100,000 users in Singapore that thinks it can improve its service using cryptocurrency and blockchain. So they're going to be using, hopefully, OmiseGO. And OmiseGO has agreed to explore possible use cases with them. The collaboration might even see the two working together to bring crypto payments to the taxi service. So this service is called TADA. I guess it's like TADA, I don't know, TADA. They're already using blockchain, which is interesting. So it offers cheaper cab fare. Unlike centralized servers like Uber and Grab, the project also does not charge a commission, which is quite interesting. So far, more than 100,000 people in Singapore have used the service, with roughly 17,000 car owners registering as drivers. They've also expanded their service to other countries within the region, including parts of South Korea. Now, I also want to talk about, now this is a coin I never really have a chance to bring up on the channel, but this is Factom. So I wanted to talk about something that they've been doing. So Equator, an Altisource business unit and leading provider of residential loan default software and marketing solutions for many of the country's top services, real estate agents, and vendors, today announced their agreement with Factom. This is pretty cool. So they're going to integrate the Factom Harmony blockchain as a service into Equator Pro solution. So basically, what is Equator Pro solution? Well, it's a software as a service solution that helps services increase efficiency and vendor oversight across the default servicing process, designed for all portfolio sizes as well. So that's definitely good news for Factom branching out. Now let's talk about the possible exit scam, maybe, from Liqui.io. So basically, they've been delisting a bunch of coins lately, and high-profile coins too. Like Basic Attention Token is what really kind of set people off, especially, you know, after the whole Coinbase listing thing, people really didn't understand. So it seems that they've already started to liquidate around 300,000 USD worth of their assets right here. So also, you know, talking about Basic Attention delisting, they told users that they'll be unable to process withdrawals. The trouble is, we see clearly on the blockchain that, in fact, many tens of thousands of BAT still are sitting around. So this is kind of confusing. So once the withdrawals deadline has been reached, which is October 13th, withdrawals will be, that was obviously happened already, withdrawals will be disabled, and the asset will be fully decommissioned from this point forward. You've also seen them delisting things like EOS and VeChain as well. So people are really concerned about this. Now, this isn't liquid, this is Liqui, so don't get them confused with each other. Also, come on, guys, no coins for you. Michigan banning crypto donations. Well, this isn't cool. I like Michigan. Michigan's a super fun state. I have family out there. It's usually real relaxing, and they're usually pretty cool about stuff. But what's going on? So basically, their reasoning was that in the context of contribution under the MCFA, an ascertainable monetary value is one that is exact, precise, and certain, or can be determined with certainty, where it cannot be determined the exact or precise dollar amount for a contribution made with Bitcoin. At the time it is given, there can be no ascertainable monetary value. Come on, Michigan, come on. All right, moving on. So we have IMF Chief. So check this out. The managing director and chairperson of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, has called on central banks around the world to consider issuing digital currencies. This is really weird, because didn't they just have an issue with, you know, the Marshall Islands? Okay, anyway, off topic, but I just find that to be weird. So she says that the state has a role to play in injecting money to the digital economy, and it was therefore necessary to consider the possibility to issue digital currency. The advantage is clear. Your payment would be immediate, safe, cheap, and potentially semi-anonymous, and central banks would retain a sure footing in payments. So that is some good news to hear. I was a little confused because they were basically going against the Marshall Islands doing it, but she's saying they should, so change of heart? Maybe? Possibly? Okay. Also moving on, I wanted to talk about Ernst & Young. So they have EY Ops Chain Public Edition. So that has launched on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's pretty cool news as well. And if you guys want a funny story before we go, non-crypto related, Wells Fargo, shareholders can't sue us because they should have known we were lying. You cannot make this headline up. Have a look at that if you want some fun, non-crypto related, so I won't waste your time anymore. And if that doesn't make you happy, check out this awesome quiz test that kids got in school the other day. So it's a price of Bitcoin, and they have to analyze it, and it asks them questions. You know, what is the earliest recorded value? How much did the value increase between July 2010 and 2012? So really cool, you know, getting Bitcoin into schools, getting it in their minds. Pretty cool, pretty awesome, guys. That being said, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I know it's been a crazy, hectic year in Bitcoin and crypto in general. The situation with the Bitcoin Cash Camp, it's crazy what's happening right now. I mean, what is your opinion on it? Let me know, guys. Please drop it in the description. Also, once again, if you stayed to the end, if you do want to win this Bridge Protocol USB key, it's 8 gigabytes, and all you have to do is just comment. Just say something about the USB drive, though, so I know that you definitely want it. I will pick the winner tomorrow in the video, and that's basically it. So thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed the Community Digitex Futures interview that I did last night. Yeah, and that's basically it for the day. So that being said, I want to say thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting. You're freaking awesome. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and peace out.